Okay, good morning, everyone. What about your revision? Did you revise the portion? P block elements, group 15. Did you read the portion? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, right? Now, all of you, please switch on your videos. So, which are the elements present in this group 15? Sania, can you tell me?
Nitrogen, phosphorus,
Yeah.
and arsenic, antimony, bismuth.
Bismuth and moscovium. Okay. So, these are the elements present in group 15. Then, what about their general electronic configuration? Sharon?
NS2, NP3.
Yeah, NS2, NP3. Then what periodic trend followed by the atomic and ionic radii when we are moving from top to bottom in a group? Achut?
Increases down.
Yeah, atomic and ionic radii increases. Then what about this ionization enthalpy in a group? Naureen?
Decreases down the
Yeah, it decreases from top to bottom. What about electronegativity, Dia? Decreases from top to bottom. Then among this different elements in group 15, which all are metals, which all are non-metals, then metalloids. Vidur?
Nitrogen and phosphorus are non-metals.
Hmm.
Arsenic and antimony are metalloids.
Hmm.
And bismuth and moscovium is metals.
Okay. Then which element in this group 15 does not show allotropy? Emmanuel?
Yes, ma'am.
Which element in this group 15 does not show allotropy? Which one?
I don't know.
Hmm?
Nitrogen, ma'am.
Yeah, nitrogen. Okay, except nitrogen, all elements show allotropy. Okay, then we can discuss the remaining things through the discussion of MCQ questions. Otherwise, we will not get enough time to discuss questions. Okay, then what about these questions? Did you copy this during the class time itself, or I will send that? Yes?
Now,
Yeah, sure.
will copy it now.
Okay, okay, fine. Then you can write it along with discussion, okay? Okay, fine. Then if you miss any questions, I will share it in the group. So we can start with MCQ questions based on this group 15. Okay. So the first question. Vidur, can you read the first question?
Which of the following elements can be involved in p-pi d-pi bonding?
Yeah. Which of the following elements can be involved in p-pi d-pi bonding? Which is the correct answer? Options are A, carbon, B, nitrogen, C, phosphorus, D, boron. Anna, can you tell me?
Ma'am, is it nitrogen?
P-pi, D-pi bonding. So, p orbital and d orbital is needed. So, elements in the first period do not comes in this category. Anyone can answer, yeah.
The page.
Yeah, which one?
Can you zoom the page?
Achut, once again?
Ma'am, can you zoom the page?
Yeah, sure. One minute, children. Just 1 minute. Is this clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Visible, right? Okay. So which is the correct answer? Which of the following elements can be involved in p pi d pi bonding? Option A, carbon. Option B, nitrogen. Option C, phosphorus. Option D, boron. So you have to remember the elements in the first period, they do not have d orbital. Okay, if there is only d orbital present, then it can involve in d pi p pi bonding. So which is the element that comes in the second period? Second period means actually it's third period. Okay, first period only hydrogen and helium. Second period there are elements. They do not have d orbital. Then the third period. So which element comes under this third period among these options?
Phosphorus.
It's phosphorus. That belongs to period 3. It has d orbital. That's why. P pi d pi bonding. And second question. Emmanuel, can you read the second question?
Yes, ma'am. Which of the following is not tetrahedral in shape?
Which of the following is not tetrahedral in shape? NH4 plus, SiCl4, SF4, SO4, 2 minus. Actually, this one comes under the next topic. But here you can write the correct answer. It is SF4. We can discuss this question later. While learning group 16, mainly based on the sulfur, silicon, etc. Okay. Then the third question, most stable among the following: ASH3, that is arsenic hydride, then antimony hydride, then PH3 and NH3. PH3 is phosphine. That's a compound formed by phosphorus. So among this different compounds of hydrates, most stable one, which is the most stable one? What about the reactivity towards hydrogen? The stability decreases or increases in a group. Take page number 173, reactivity towards hydrogen. Just look at that and tell me. This is stability of hydrides decreases or increases when we are moving from nitrogen to the next members in the group.
Decreases.
Stability decreases. So most stable among the following?
NH3.
Yeah, it's NH3. Okay, because the stability decreases in a group. That's the reason. Correct answer is NH3. In the case of hydrides, the stability decreases from top to bottom. Then the fourth question, bond dissociation enthalpy of EH, E stands for element and H for hydride. Bonds is given below. Which of the compounds will act as strongest reducing agent? Options are NHA NH3, BPH3, CASH3, and D SPH3. Here the bond dissociation enthalpy, it is greater in NH3, right? Bond dissociation enthalpy is greater in NH3. That means it is more stable. So here, which of the compound will act as strongest reducing agent? Strongest reducing agent. This question from the same portion, reactivity towards hydrogen. Yes, among this, which one is the strongest reducing agent? Stability decreases down the group. So their reactivity increases from top to bottom. Okay. So which is the strongest reducing agent? First one nitrogen, then phosphorus,
Yes.
phosphorus, arsenic, antimony. That's the order. So which one?
MSB.
Yeah, SbH3. It's a strong oxidizing agent. Actually, BiH3, bismuth hydride, is the strongest reducing agent when we are moving from top to bottom. But here in this option, this BiH3 is not there. So just before BiH3, that is SbH3. That's why. Okay, so that's the correct answer. NH3 is a mild oxidizing agent, mild reducing agent. Because it's stable, it is less reactive. Can also write this poem. Reducing character increases. And we are moving from top to bottom. Reducing character increases from top to bottom. Okay. Diya, can you read the fifth question?
Elements of group 15 form compounds in +5 oxidation state. However, bismuth forms only one well-characterized compound in +5 oxidation state. The compound is?
Yeah, the elements of group 15, they show variable oxidation states. Do you remember? +3, then +5, -3, etc. So the elements of group 15 form compounds in +5 oxidation state. However, bismuth forms only one well-characterized compound in +5 oxidation state. The compound is option A, Bi2O5, option B, BiF5, option C, BiCl5, option D, Bi2S5. The same thing that's explained in the oxidation states and trends in chemical reactivity, page number 172. You can find out the well-characterized compound formed in +5 oxidation state of bismuth. Which one is that? Yes. Priya, which one is the correct answer?
B.
B. Option B, okay. BiF5. BiF5. Yes. There's +5 oxidation state. Okay. So this -3 and +5 oxidation state, it will decreases from top to bottom, right? Yes. +5 and -3, it will decreases from top to bottom. Only one compound that is exist in this +5 oxidation state for bismuth, that is BiF5. BiF5. Yeah.
Ma'am, which book is this, ma'am?
This one, Arihant. Okay. Then, Nandana, can you read the sixth question?
Which of the following elements does not show allotropy?
Yeah.
Nitrogen, bismuth, antimony, and arsenic.
Nitrogen, bismuth, antimony, arsenic. Which of the following elements does not show allotropy? Emmanuel, what's the answer?
Antimony.
The same thing you answered in the beginning, right?
Nitrogen.
Yeah, it's nitrogen. Nitrogen does not show allotropy. All other elements in group 15, they shows allotropy. Okay. Michael, can you read the seventh question?
A hydride of nitrogen which is acidic is A, NH3, B, N3H, C, N2H2, and D, N2H5.
H4. Option A, NH3. Option B, N3H. Option C, N2H2. Option D, N2H4. Actually, this question, the same thing is not here in the textbook, but here the correct answer, a hydride of nitrogen, which is acidic. In case of NH3, you know that it's ammonia, it's basic in nature. Okay. Then this N3H, that's the correct answer. That is acidic in nature, N3H. Then this N2H2, N2H4, they are basic in nature. So N3H. Then the eighth question. Sharon, can you read the eighth question? Unmute.
The shape of ammonia molecule is?
Option A. Option A, trigonal pyramidal with the nitrogen atom at the apex. Option B, square planar with the nitrogen atom at the apex. Then option C, tetrahedral with the nitrogen atom at the apex. Then option D, none of the above. The shape of this ammonia that's mentioned in page number 176. So you look at the structure and tell me which is the correct one. Yeah, which one?
A.
Option A. Trigonal pyramidal with the nitrogen atom at the apex. Okay, there are lone pair of electrons in the nitrogen atom. So
Ma'am,
option,
apex means center.
yeah, center, top of the center. You can see there are two lone pairs like this. Okay, at the top position. Then 3 hydrogen atoms like this. This is trigonal pyramidal shape. Okay. Then ninth question. Sania, can you read the ninth question?
Maximum covalency of nitrogen is option A 3, option B 5, option C 4, option D 6.
Okay, which is the correct answer? Maximum covalency of nitrogen. What's the correct answer? Maximum covalency. 4. Yeah, it's 4. I think it's mentioned in chemical properties, that is oxidation states and trends in chemical reactivity. Okay, correct option is C, 4.
Ma'am, can you see the page number?
Yeah, 172. Nitrogen only shows oxidation state from +1 to +4. That means the maximum covalency that shows by nitrogen, that is +4. Okay. Then 10th question. Anthony, can you read 10th question?
A brown ring is
Yeah, the brown ring is.
formed in the ring test for NO3 minus ion. It is due to the formation of
A brown ring is formed in the ring test for nitrate ion. That is due to the formation of. The name of the test is brown ring test. Okay. It told you in this brown ring test, a brown colored complex is formed. That's a brown ring formed between the junctions of two liquids. And which is that complex? FeH2O5NO2 plus, then FeH2O4NO2, NO2 2 plus, then option B FeSO4NO2, option D FeSO4HNO3. It's a complex. So which is the correct answer? That's in page number 180. Yes.
A.
Option A. Okay, option A. Between this option A and C, there is small difference. Okay, so you have to learn the structure of this complex thoroughly. In first option A, FeH2O5 NO2 plus. Option C, it is FeH2O4 NO2 2 plus. So you will get confused during exam. So should thorough with this structure of this complex. It's important. You can mark it in the textbook also. Okay. That's why I mentioned the page numbers. Then 11th question. Ammonia on small scale is obtained from. Options are ammonium salts which decompose when treated with caustic soda, sodium salts which decompose when treated with caustic soda, ammonium salts which decompose when treated with slaked lime, sodium salts which decompose when treated with slaked lime. Here in the preparation of ammonia. That's from page number 175. So among this option, which is the correct answer? From ammonium salt, which reagent is used? Caustic soda, that is NaOH. Slaked lime, that is CaOH twice. Srihari, which is the correct answer? Srihari, can you hear me?
A, ma'am.
Which one?
A.
Is it A? Ammonium salts, which is decomposed. Actually, A and C belongs to its answer. Because ammonium salt, that is NH4 twice SO4 plus NaOH, that also gives ammonia. Then ammonium chloride with this calcium hydroxide also gives ammonia. So option A and C are right. Here in the text, in this book, it's given the correct option as C. But A and C, they are the right answers itself. Okay, A and C.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
This, like we call calcium hydroxide as slaked lime.
Which one? Caustic soda, that is NaOH. Slaked lime, CaOH twice.
Yeah, ma'am, that is the one we call as calcium hydroxide. Right?
Yeah, calcium hydroxide. Yes. So you can note here it is CaOH twice. Okay, calcium hydroxide. Caustic soda, that is NaOH. So the correct answer, option A and option C. Ammonium salts which decompose when treated with caustic soda and slaked lime. Clear, children? Anna, can you read the 12th question?
Yes, ma'am. Which of the following statement is incorrect about ammonia? NH3 gives white fumes with HCl. NH3 is insoluble in water. NH3 acts as Lewis base.
Yeah. Which of the following statement is incorrect about ammonia? Look at the first statement. NH3 gives white fumes with HCl. Is it correct or not? Do you remember? Ammonium chloride is formed and this dense white fumes are produced when NH3 reacts with HCl. Okay. When we are dipping one glass rod that dipped in ammonia with HCl, then dense white fumes are produced. That is ammonium chloride is produced. Okay. I think that's in textbook. Somewhere we have learned, right? I can't find out now. Okay, so the first statement, that's right. Then what about second one? NH3 is insoluble in water. What about the solubility of NH3? Is it soluble? NH3, ammonia.
It is highly soluble.
Yeah, it is highly soluble. So this statement is incorrect. NH3 is insoluble in water. That's incorrect. NH3 is highly soluble in water. Then what about the third one? NH3 acts as a Lewis base. Is it correct? That's in page number 177. The presence of a lone pair of electrons on nitrogen atom of the ammonia molecule makes it a Lewis base. Page number 177, first sentence. So only option 2 is incorrect. So here A, B, Z and D. C is the correct answer. The incorrect statement, that is 2 only. Okay. So these are the objective questions from this part, group 15. From the next question onwards, it's related to group 16 onwards. Okay. So have you completed till question number 12, children? Do you have any doubt in any question? Anyone? Clear, right?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, the
Yeah.
12th question, the first point.
Which one? Which one?
12th question, first point.
NH3 gives white fumes with HCl. That is, NH3 will react with HCl to form NH4Cl. Okay, NH4Cl. This appear in the form of white fumes. White fumes. It will be produced. That we have learned somewhere in this chapter itself. Sometimes it's in the slide. Okay, that's it. NH3 plus HCl gives NH4Cl. That is, white fumes are produced. and it's actually a reversible reaction. So two-headed arrow can be used. Just 1 minute, children. Yeah, that we have learned in page number 204, hydrogen chloride. The heading hydrogen chloride deals with both ammonia and hydrogen chloride. Page number 204. Here you can see the reaction. NH3 plus HCl gives NH4Cl. Did you find that? It reacts with NH3 and gives white fumes of NH4Cl. Page number 204, towards the end, before that aqua regia. Okay? Yes, that's it. So have you completed this page, children? Shall I move to next one?
No, ma'am.
Not yet finished. Okay, then finish it fast. Till question number 12. Okay.
I'm so 13.
From 13 onwards, it's related to group 16. Okay, so it's finished, right? All of you?
No, ma'am.
No. If it is not finished, I will share it in the group. No need to worry. Gauri, which question?
12th one.
Okay, then you can complete it now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next section, we are moving to assertion reasoning questions. Okay. Assertion reasoning questions. Children, did you take printout for that question paper, model question paper?
Yes,
All of you? Yes. And did you observe the pattern? In this question paper, there will be MCQ questions, then this assertion reasoning, then one passage and MCQ questions related to that. Okay, case study based questions. There is no option for rotation. Just 1 minute. This is clearly visible, children. All of you? Yes, right? Okay. So we can start with this assertion reasoning MCQ. Okay. So here there are certain directions. In the following questions, question number 40 to 54. A statement of assertion followed by a statement of reason is given. Choose the correct answer out of the following choices. Okay. So here already the 4 options are given in the beginning. You should follow these 4 options for the entire questions from question number 40 to 54. Option A, both assertion and reason are correct statements and the reason is the correct explanation of assertion. That's option A. Then option B, both assertion and reason are correct statements, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Then option C, assertion is correct, but reason is incorrect. Then option D, assertion is incorrect, but reason is correct statement. So these are the 4 choices or 4 options. Okay, these 4 options can be followed for entire questions from 40 to 54. Clear, children? Okay. So the first question, 40th question. Yeah. Not yet completed, right? Okay. Then you can finish it. Okay. Then 40th question, assertion N2 is less reactive than P4. Okay. The reason is that nitrogen has more electron gain enthalpy than phosphorus. N2 is less reactive than P4. And nitrogen has more electron gain enthalpy than phosphorus, which is the correct option. What about the reactivity of nitrogen and phosphorus? Look at the page number 173. The first sentence. NN bond is weaker than the single PP bond. So here, when we are comparing this nitrogen and phosphorus, nitrogen is less reactive, right? Nitrogen is less reactive than phosphorus. So here the assertion is correct. Then what about the reason? What about the electron gain enthalpy? It is when we are moving from top to bottom, is it increases or decreases? Electron gain enthalpy.
Decreases.
Yeah.
Decreases.
Yeah, decreases. So nitrogen has more electron gain enthalpy than phosphorus, right? Yes. Then you just tell me, is this the correct reason for the assertion? Actually, here the option is C. Okay, I will check that and tell you. Okay, nitrogen is less reactive than P4. The nitrogen has more electron gain enthalpy than phosphorus. 1 minute, children. I'll check this question and tell you in the next class. Okay, there is a little bit of confusion. That's why. Then look at the 41, question number 41. From arsenic to bismuth, there is only a small increase in covalent radius. Reason D and or F orbitals are completely filled in heavier elements. Here you look at the atomic and ionic radii topic, page number 171. Then you can tell me what about the increase in covalent radius. From arsenic to bismuth, what happens to the covalent radius? Is it increases or decreases? Gauri, can you tell me?
Ma'am, assertion and reason both are correct.
Assertion and reason both are correct. Yes. Option A. Okay. Here from arsenic to bismuth, there is only a small increase in covalent radius. And the reason is that completely filled D and or F orbitals in heavier member. That's in the page number 171. Okay. 171 under the heading atomic and ionic radii. That is option A. Both assertion and reason are correct statements, and the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. Then question number 42. The stability of +5 oxidation state decreases and that of +3 state increases down the group 50. Reason is inert pair effect is more prone in case of heavier members of P block. Here this one is explained in page number 172 under the heading oxidation states and trends in chemical reactivity. Now, yeah. Yes.
Ma'am, 43rd question. Right?
42. Okay. Now, Rin, can you tell me? The stability of +5 oxidation state decreases and that of +3 state increases down the group 50. Reason, inert pair effect is more prone in case of heavier members of P block. Which is the correct option? A. Because here the assertion and reason is correct. Stability of +5 oxidation state decreases and there is only one compound for bismuth, that is BiF5, right? And this oxidation state +3, it will increases down the group. And do you remember this inert pair effect? The electrons present in the s orbital, they do not involved in chemical bonding. Okay, that is inert pair effect. Then question number 43, assertion. HNO3 makes iron passive. Reason, HNO3 forms a protective layer of ferric nitrate on the surface of iron. Here the first statement is correct. HNO3 makes iron passive. Okay, the reason is incorrect. So here the correct one is option C. Assertion is correct, but reason is incorrect statement. Then question number 44. Assertion, that is PH3 forms.
Can you go slow?
Okay.
Ma'am, for 42, both were correct. Right? It
Yes.
is first option.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Yeah. Anna?
what thing can't be seen? No, I can't see in the screen.
Which
That
one?
Options.
Options here in the beginning.
No, ma'am, you're writing A, B. Correct options you're writing in the near the question, right?
You can't see that. What about others?
I too can't see that.
Okay. Then wait. For question number 40, we skip that. 41, correct option is A. 41A. 42A. 43C. Okay, 43C.
Ma'am, the 43rd question, like where can you find the textbook?
I didn't get that from textbook. Let's wait. But this question is find out in many books. It's not available here in this portion from your textbook. Have you completed this question? 43? Yes, yes, right. Then I think two more questions. We can discuss it now. One more minute there. 44, question number 44. Assertion pH3 forms bubbles when passed slowly in water, but NH3 dissolves. Reason is NH3 is water soluble. Okay. pH3, that is phosphine. We skip that part of phosphorus. So pH3 forms bubbles. That means it is not completely soluble in water when passed slowly in water, but NH3 dissolves. Reason NH3 is water soluble. So you can tell me the reason is correct, right? We already learned that this ammonia is highly soluble in water. Here the assertion is also right. Phosphine is not completely soluble in water. It will form bubbles. So here the correct option is A. A. Then one more question, 45. In group 15 elements, their pentahalides are more covalent than trihalides. In group 15 elements, their pentahalides are more covalent than trihalides. Reason, all the group 15 elements react with metals to form their binary compounds exhibiting -3 oxidation state. Here the assertion and reason are same. Okay, all the group 15 elements react with metals to form their binary compounds exhibiting -3 oxidation state. Here you can see this one in oxidation state and then about the reaction pentahalides. It's from oxidation state. Okay, this -3 oxidation state, that is common. The first sentence itself, the common oxidation states of these elements are -3, +3, and +5. Okay, so it's from oxidation state. Here the assertion and reason is right, so the correct option is A. So for the next class, you can revise the same portion, okay, group 15, because more questions are remaining. We can discuss maximum questions in the tomorrow. There are 2 classes, right? Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can revise group 15 and group 16. Okay, group 15 you already revised for today, right? So group 16. So we can discuss the questions based on these 2 portions. Okay.
Ma'am.
Yes. Yeah,
16 full is there?
Yeah, 16 full is there. But I think within tomorrow we can't finish that. Try to read the maximum. Okay. Yes. Otherwise, we can't able to obtain the correct answer. That's why. Okay, children. So now it's time. So we can discuss the remaining things tomorrow. Let me take your attendance. Just wait. See you in the next class. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
ma'am.